Welcome to weekly Forex forecast from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. This is Forex Wizard, your trading coach. I will be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis of all the hottest currency pairs and indices that we will be looking to trade next week. As next week coming up, quite a few high impact news on Euro. Especially we can see that quite a few big news coming up on Euro, GBP and dollar, including CAD and AUD. So these pairs could be very volatile, and a special eye will be on gold, dollar pairs as well as euro. Now the list is not longer, but I would suggest you to watch all of them. As you have seen in our previous weekly Forex forecast, DXY almost has done exactly as expected. Let's quickly recap our DXY analysis past week. And as you can see, the price is getting rejection multiple times from this level. Even we could see this week the price is respecting this level and getting rejection. So this, if you look at, this is the last candle of the past week, and we expected DXY to break this important support and then to have a rejection to create a new higher high. And as you can see, DXY exactly has done that, has broken that level, grabbed the liquidity and has got a bounce to the upside. Smash the like button now and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done yet. Without further delay, let's get started this week's weekly Forex forecast. Okay, today, so I'll begin with first of all DXY, as DXY will give us a clear direction of most of the USD pairs including gold, and then we'll be looking at other instrument as well. Looking at monthly chart on DXY, we can see that from the monthly DXY so far it was in a bullish move, and this month we have seen initial pullback and form this bullish candle on DXY. And what I think that is the third week of the month, as FOMC coming, expecting DXY to drop down to retest and then to reject from this level. Now if we look at the weekly chart, what do we see? That from the weekly perspective, DXY has formed a potential bullish price action. This weekly candle we see that has grabbed liquidity from this significant level where there is a weekly doji, and we see that there is a long wick at the top. As this candle has liquidity and also there is a long wick at the top, expecting this week initial pullback, even breaking this low and then to have a bounce to the upside in the middle of the week or during the FOMC to fill that upper wick from the weekly perspective. Looking at the daily chart to see how the price is doing, we can see that from the daily time frame, DXY is maintaining typical bullish market structure. There is a daily impulse followed by quite a few days of consolidation. The market has got another impulse to the upside with this bullish candle, followed by, we can see that back to back 3 days of pullback. DXY currently in a level where I think that we could see initial downside that we are expecting from the weekly time frame. Now if you look at the daily chart, where there is a daily 20 EMA in this significant level of support, expecting DXY to drop down to grab the liquidity and then to bounce to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the intraday time frame, we can see there is an impulse followed by a smaller wave here, and in this drop what we see that the market is gathering liquidity from the top with long wick candles. Now with that being said, expecting DXY to drop down initially and especially below this level where is the weekly support, expecting DXY to grab, retest and then to bounce to the upside. So this is what I will be waiting in the beginning of the trading week for DXY to see how the price is reacting, especially if we see that the price has grabbed liquidity from this significant level. We will look for going long on DXY with a high probability trade setup. Now looking at the monthly chart on euro dollar, we can see that from the monthly previous months, euro dollar has got a strong drop followed by we can see that this is the monthly candle. In the first week we have seen initial bounce and then drop. The price now going up for a pullback on euro dollar. Now expecting euro dollar to have a bit more upside bias to this level, where there is a monthly opening and closing on euro dollar. Now what we can expect this week, what I think that we could see the price is going up to retest and then to drop down to create a new lower low. Now if we look at the weekly chart, where you can see that after previous weekly doji, as expected this week we have seen that break of this weekly doji and then has got a strong rejection from the top. Currently it also has formed another doji, and with the doji formation I think that euro dollar we might see initial bounce to retest and then expect to fill that long wick from the weekly time frame. Now looking at the daily chart, where we can see potential entry opportunity. Now this is the daily swing high, and what we see, the price again has come back to pull back to that level. The price currently approaching the daily 20 EMA, which is also aligning with this significant daily resistance level, expecting euro dollar to go up to grab liquidity and then to drop down to create a new lower low. Now looking at the intraday time frame on euro dollar, we can see there is a big drop followed by a smaller wave on euro dollar, expecting for the price to go ahead and retest this level. Now as soon as we see that euro dollar has broken that resistance level, from that zone we will be looking for going short on euro dollar with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at AUDUSD. Looking at the monthly chart on AUDUSD, we can see that this is also monthly bearish price action. Previous months a long bearish candle, followed by this month we can see that there is another monthly candle has formed so far with a healthy body and also initial pullback, expecting for the price to retest the monthly resistance again and then to reject from that level. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from AUDUSD, from the weekly perspective, there is a huge drop on the weekly, followed by a narrower candle, followed by a long wick doji from the weekly perspective on AUDUSD. This is the resistance that I am expecting AUDUSD to retest and then to reject from the down, from this level to the downside, as we see that there is a back-to-back weaker response from the buyers, giving signal potential for this downside on AUDUSD. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see that like the euro dollar, AUDUSD also has gone to the resistance level where there is a high liquidity. If you look at this candle here on the daily, you can see that the price has just crossed that high and form a retest from a liquidity candle, and that liquidity candle might be respected in the upcoming week. And what I think that on AUDUSD we can expect initial pullback, either respecting this resistance or breaking that high, coming down to create a new lower low. Now looking at the intraday time frame on AUDUSD, we can see that there is a liquidity grab here. This is a significant level of resistance here, and we see that the price already has grabbed liquidity initially last session of the trading week, which is a sign that in the upcoming week we could see AUDUSD is dropping down to create a new lower low. As this is the last session's candle of the last week, I will be waiting for AUDUSD to break that high to grab further liquidity and from that zone to reject to the downside. So as soon as you see that AUDUSD has given us potential entry opportunity after a liquidity grab, we will be looking for going short on AUDUSD with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at GBPUSD. Now looking at the monthly chart on GBPUSD, we can see that from the monthly so far this is a bearish price action. From the monthly there is a previous month there is a narrower candle. This month we have seen initial pullback and then rejection to the downside on GBPUSD. What I think that this week we might see initial pullback to the upside and then we can expect for the price to reject to the downside, as we see that this monthly candle forming a lower time frame bearish price action. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly, the price has crossed that weekly high. Previous week we have seen a break of structure and then immediate rejection, form a weekly doji. Now this week, what I think that the price might go ahead and retest and then reject to the downside to create a new lower low. Now let's look at the daily chart on GBPUSD. We can see that from the daily time frame, there is a big drop here, followed by we can see that back-to-back 3 days of pullback. Last day of trading week, we saw a doji formation, and as the price is approaching the daily 20 EMA, expecting GBPUSD to go ahead and retest and then to reject from this level. Now if we look at the intraday time frame on GBPUSD, we can see that from the lower time frame, the price might go ahead and retest and then to reject from this level, and this is the zone that I will be waiting for a retest on GBPUSD, as we are expecting initial weakness on DXY. We'll be waiting for GBPUSD to retest. If we see that the price has followed the plan, we will be looking for going short on GBPUSD with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at dollar CAD. Let's see what kind of price action it has formed. Now looking at the monthly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the monthly time frame, this month so far, from this monthly support has formed so far a long wick candle, and in dollar CAD also we see that there is a bullish momentum currently. Now as the market is coming down for a pullback, expecting for the price to come down to retest and then to reject from this level. Now if we look at the weekly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the weekly time frame, there is a huge liquidity gap followed by a doji. Now past week we have seen another bullish momentum. Now this weekly candle, which is in fact a bullish price action, I will be waiting for initial pullback and then to reject to the downside to upside to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the daily chart, we can see that from the daily time frame, the price is respecting this resistance level. And if you look at, this is the level here on GBPUSD, and the price is moving in this channel. This is an impulse correction, impulse expecting it to correct to the support level on dollar CAD. And as soon as we see that the price has dropped down to retest this support level, we will be looking for going long on dollar CAD with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at yen pairs, and then we will be looking at gold as well as indices and WTI. Guys and girls, make sure you stick till the end of this weekly forex forecast, starting with GBPJPY. Now GBPJPY, if we look at the bigger picture, we can see that from the bigger picture perspective, from the monthly chart on GJ, so far it is a very strongly bull market. We have seen that there is a monthly impulse followed by this month, so we can see the price has formed significant bullish move, expecting for GBPJPY to drop down to this monthly support and then to reject from this level. Now if we look at the weekly chart on GBPJPY, we can see that from the weekly time frame, this is the weekly impulse followed by a correction, and expecting GJ to create another bounce to the upside. Previous week there is a bullish engulfer with a doji, and so far we can see that this week the price GBPJPY formed a long wick candle, which we could see that a feel of that long wick candle. Now if we draw this weekly resistance, which is turning support here, expecting GJ to retest and then to go ahead and fill that long wick from the weekly perspective. Now looking at the daily chart on GJ, we can see that there was a significant rejection from this daily support level with this long wick candle, followed by last day of trading week has formed another long wick candle from the daily time frame. And I think that in the upcoming week we could see that GBPJPY coming down to retest and then to filling that daily long wick, expecting GJ to go ahead and to fill that long wick. Now if we look at the intraday time frame, where we can see that the market has formed a reversal pattern. Here we can see an inverted head and shoulder breakup structure from that inverted head and shoulder, where it left this important liquidity zone, and this is the smart money area that I will be waiting for GJ to come down to retest, to grab liquidity, and then to bounce from this level. As soon as we find suitable entry on GBPJPY, we will be looking for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at EURJPY. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity currently we have in this instrument. Now as you can see, this week euro news coming, quite a few high impact news coming up. We could see that EURJPY becoming very volatile, as we see that already this market is trending to the upside. Now looking at the monthly chart on EURJPY, we can see that from the monthly perspective, there is a monthly body with a long wick at the top, and we can see that this month so far the price has dropped to this support level, has got a bounce from this level on EURJPY, expecting for the price to go ahead and fill that wick at the top on EURJPY. As we see, the price already in a very strong bullish momentum, expecting for the price to go ahead and fill that wick. Now looking at the weekly chart on EURJPY, we can see that from the weekly time frame, this is the drop on the weekly, followed by we saw a double bottom formation, which is a reversal pattern, expecting EURJPY to go ahead and to create a new higher high. We have seen 2 weeks of pullback. Currently the price again started its momentum, and what I think that this week we could see that EURJPY is going up and retesting this resistance level. Now looking at the intraday time frame on EURJPY, we can see that from the lower time frame price section on EURJPY, this is the support level on EURJPY, and the price is respecting this dynamic support along the way, and we can see quite a few bullish alert in that zone according to our TF strategy. I will be waiting with the market open for another deeper pullback. As soon as we see that EURJPY has dropped down for a deeper pullback to this level, we will be looking for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at dollar yen. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this instrument. Now dollar yen, again we will be looking at the monthly chart to see overall direction in the market. Now from the monthly, we can see that dollar yen is very strongly bull market. Previous months we have seen a very strong bullish candle, and after this monthly breakdown, dollar yen has formed a bullish price action, expecting this month also the price to remain bullish. We can see that so far has made significant movement to the upside, expecting dollar yen to go ahead and to create a new higher high. Now looking at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly perspective on dollar yen, there is a weekly impulse here, followed by a pullback to this weekly 20 EMA, and then we can see that the price has formed another bullish impulse from the weekly perspective on dollar yen. Now this is the weekly candle that has a long wick at the top, and as this market already grabbed liquidity from this important level, what I think that this week also dollar yen might remain bullish, and what I think that the price may fill that wick and retest this long-term resistance level, expecting dollar yen to go ahead and create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the daily time frame, this is the daily impulse, followed by a correction, and we see another impulse, followed by, we can see that from the daily perspective, last day of trading week, there is a liquidity candle. That liquidity candle might bring price a bit more to the downside. As the price grab liquidity from here, we could see that a downside on dollar yen, and from that zone we can expect for the price to remain bullish. If we look at the intraday time frame on dollar yen, we can see that from the intraday perspective, for the price to drop down, especially below this level, there is a high liquidity. We will be waiting for dollar yen to break that low and then to give us suitable entry opportunity. As soon as we will find suitable entry, we will be looking for going long on dollar yen with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at gold. Now as you have seen, past week gold was extremely volatile and we have an incredible trading opportunity past week, quite a few very good trade, including our live trade on gold. Now let's see this week how the market is evolving. Now looking at the monthly chart on gold, we can see that so far this month initially we have seen significant bearish move, and at the end of this week we saw that there was a deeper pullback. Now as the market is in a pullback, I think that this week we might see it might go up a bit more to the upside for deeper pullback before dropping down. Long term we could see that gold is coming down to create further downside, further lower low. Now if we look at the weekly chart on gold, we can see that from the weekly there is a candle that has a long wick at the bottom, and also you see a healthy body, and that candle also creating series of lower high. That means that this week we could see that gold might fill that long wick. That to fill that long wick we could see initial pullback and then to coming down to create a new lower low. Now if we look at the daily chart, we can see a bit more clearer picture on gold. Now from the daily time frame, this is the daily impulse starting from this level created this move. Let's take our Fibonacci from high to the low. We can see that the price is approaching to 61 point Fibonacci level, which is the golden ratio, and with that Fibonacci level there is a 20 EMA from the daily aligning with this green candle, which is the very significant level of support. Now if you look at this move here on gold, we can see that in that move all the candles are red except this green candle, which is high liquidity zone, expecting gold to go ahead and retest and then to drop down again to create a new lower low. Now looking at the intraday time frame, we can see a bit more clearer picture here. Let's look at the 1 hour chart to see how we can expect a trading opportunity in the upcoming week. Now you can see there was a huge trade that we have taken during the live session. Probably you guys have seen that. Now expecting gold to go ahead and retest this level. This is the support here, turning resistance here on gold, and expecting for the price to retest this level and then to drop down from this zone to create a new lower low. This is where with the market open, if we see the lower time frame is still, as the market is still bullish, if we see initial pullback to the downside, and then we might find in the beginning of the trading week a bullish trading opportunity, and this is the zone also I will be looking for potential selling opportunity with the market open in the beginning of the trading week. These are the two zones in the beginning we will be looking at, along with based on the market structure we will be looking for trading opportunity, and I'll also keep you updated guys and girls during the live session and with the analysis. Now in the meantime also you can trade all of them with us. You can join us, link below this video in the description area. You can visit the website and then click join now button. You will be able to trade with us, and also you can learn the strategy that we are trading gold and other instrument as well. Now let's look at WTI. Looking at the monthly chart on US oil, we can see that from the monthly, after previous monthly long wick candle, there is a healthy body with a long wick candle at the top on the monthly on WTI, expecting for the price to go ahead and fill that monthly candle. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the drop on the weekly, and followed by there was a liquidity grab and bullish move. Previous week also we saw another bullish candle, and I think that this is a bullish continuation pattern on WTI, expecting for the price to go ahead and fill that zone to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on WTI, we can see that from the daily time frame, this is the daily impulse followed by one red candle, which is a deeper pullback on WTI, and there is a daily bullish engulfer. This daily bullish engulfer has crossed this low, gathered the liquidity, and we can see that last day of trading week has formed another bullish candle. Now expecting WTI for the price to come down for a pullback and then to remain bullish. Now looking at the intraday perspective on WTI, we can see that from the lower time frame, we can see that WTI currently trending with a local bullish trend, expecting WTI to come down for a deeper pullback, especially below this level. There is a high liquidity. We'll be waiting for deeper pullback. As soon as we see that suitable entry on WTI, we'll be looking for going long from this zone with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at Nasdaq. Let's see what kind of price action currently we have. Now looking at the monthly chart on Nasdaq, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly bullish candle, wickless candle with the market open. We can see that Nasdaq has formed so far bullish price action, expecting for the price to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the weekly chart on Nasdaq, we can see that from the weekly perspective, as expected, after breaking this weekly high, has formed a candle that has formed a higher low from the weekly, and I think that this week Nasdaq might be coming down to retest and then to bounce from this level. Now if we look at the daily chart on Nasdaq, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily bullish trend here. There is a drop followed by the price is forming series of higher high and higher low, which is a bullish market structure on Nasdaq. And I will be waiting for the price to drop down to break that low, grab liquidity, and then to bounce to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the intraday time frame on Nasdaq, we can see that from the intraday time frame, expecting for the price to break this low and then to bounce to the upside, and as soon as we see that the price has broken that low, we will be waiting for liquidity grab. And I think that as it is a long-term bull market, any liquidity grab can give us suitable entry opportunity on Nasdaq. Now let's look at US30. Looking at the monthly chart on US30, we can see that from the monthly time frame, this is the monthly impulse on US30, expecting for the price to come down and for a deeper pullback and then to bounce to the upside. Now looking at the weekly chart on US30, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly impulse followed by a very narrow red candle followed by back-to-back 3 weeks of liquidity grab has given US30 a stronger momentum to the upside. Now this is the weekly candle also. We see that there is significant liquidity grab, and I think that we might see now another impulse as the price back-to-back 2 weeks has formed long week, which is a signal of potential bullish momentum on US30. Now looking at the intraday time frame on US30, expecting for the price to come down for deeper pullback. Now if you look at this trend line here, we can see that there is a break of structure on US30, and with that break of structure for the price to come down to fill that zone and then to create a new higher high. As soon as we find suitable entry on US30, we look for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now these are the instrument along with many other instruments that we will be looking to trade in the upcoming week. I believe that guys and girls, you enjoyed this weekly Forex forecast. If you enjoyed, make sure that you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. In addition to that, if you want to be part of Forex Trading Wizard Academy, where you can trade gold, euro dollar, GBPUSD, all the instruments that we are trading, you can learn the strategy as well. You can find a link below this beneath the description area. We have a couple of spots currently. You can join, and as soon as you join, you can access all the tools also that we have. Thank you, and with that said, I'll see you very soon in the next analysis.